we'll be discussing lecture 3 of current electricity, where I will be deriving expression for drift velocity. And we will discuss what exactly drift velocity is. Earlier we could understand what thermal velocity is. We could see that thermal velocity is actually the velocity available with the electron due to the surrounding thermal energy possible. And we could see that thermal speed is of the order of 10 raised to power 5 meter per second, and average thermal velocity comes out to be 0. Okay, now again I will be deriving drift velocity by two methods. One will be like a routine method what you will see in books. One will be something special from IIT's Academy, and believe me, the second method will be awesome and students may appreciate that thing. Things will become very clear. See, well, in the beginning of this chapter, I said that in electrostatics, charges were at rest. Now, in this chapter, I am making charges move, but again, I repeat, I won't be giving any acceleration to the charges. Later on in the electromagnetism chapter, I will be giving acceleration to them. You will get some good shocking results. You will say, sir, there is acceleration, but I will be proving that there is no net acceleration. Intermediate acceleration will be there, but overall when I see electron, net acceleration will be 0. Okay, so remember this point: in current electricity, I won't be giving any acceleration to the electron, net acceleration. Intermediate, there may be acceleration. Now, earlier I had isolated conductor. I will take same cross section of the conductor, but now this is no more isolated. I will start its affair with a battery through connecting wires. Okay, I am putting a battery. This battery is maintaining some potential difference. This is positive end and this is negative end. I have shown these things in animation also. My suggestion will be that, okay, I will be putting in my video animation once more, so that now things become clear. Now, due to this battery is source of energy. It is not source of electrons, remember. It will be helping electrons to move. It is not giving electrons. It will be helping electrons to move. Now, direction of electric field is from positive to negative. This is positive and this is negative, and so this will be direction of electric field, external electric field. Now, the free electrons inside the conductor, they will experience force because of this equation. F is equal to QE, and for single electron F is equal to minus E. Same thing is happening with every electron. They are going opposite to the direction of electric field. In the previous case, when this conductor was isolated, these electrons used to accumulate at this point. At this point later on, we used to have net negative charge, net positive charge. Now that thing is not going to happen. No accumulation is now possible. Why? Because now connecting wires are there. When electrons come here, positive potential is waiting for them. Okay, so now we can see there is external electric field, but induced electric field inside conductor is now 0. No induced electric field is possible. Why? Induced electric field was coming from the accumulation of the charges at opposite ends. Now, since accumulation is not possible, I have connecting wires to a battery, so induced electric field is not possible now. The only electric field, that is external electric field. So when I am having an affair of conductor with a battery, this is no more an isolated conductor. I can see induced electric field inside is 0. So net electric field inside conductor is not 0. Net electric field is external electric field. Okay, now I can see that there is net force on the electrons. That net force is due to external electric field, because now free electrons cannot accumulate, therefore they cannot induce any electric field inside the conductor. If they cannot induce any electric field inside the conductor, there will be no opposition to the external electric field. When there is no opposition to the external electric field, the only electric field that is surviving here is external electric field due to the battery. Okay, now how I can explain it? How many type of motions are possible now? Two motions. Again, I cannot ignore thermal motion, that is there, still there, because temperature is still there. Now there will be one more motion, in fact that will be accelerated motion. This second motion is due to the external electric field, as I have mentioned in the animation. This motion is due to the external electric field. In isolated conductor, external field was absent? No, it was present there, but induced electric field was completely opposing it. Now I have thermal motion, that is there. Electrons will be having random motion like this, okay? But there will be another motion now due to external electric field. So due to thermal motion, I was having thermal velocity. Average thermal velocity again 0. But now there is a motion, in fact there is acceleration. Acceleration due to force is force divided by mass. Okay. Now force is due to electric field minus EE divided by m. So in addition to the thermal motion, now electrons are being accelerated according to this equation, and acceleration of electron is minus EE by m. Acceleration is opposite to the direction of electric field. E is the magnitude of electric field, and mass m, I will later on have one more discussion on m. Okay, now I can have two motions. One is thermal motion, another motion is due to external electric field. So what is happening here? I can see now, see earlier electron was going something like this, coming back like this, like this. Now what is happening? I will show you. See, this is positive end, this is negative end. Direction of electric field is from positive to negative. Now electrons are accelerated opposite to direction of electric field. Due to thermal energy, I will take a single electron. See, earlier it was having random motion at a particular time. Now what is happening? This electron is having random motion, but due to electric field it is getting drifted. Again there is motion, it is getting drifted. Again it is having random motion, it is getting drifted. Again it is having random motion, it is getting drifted. So we can see that we have now one more velocity which is like superimposed on the thermal velocity. This velocity, now there is net drift opposite to the direction of electric field. This velocity we will be calling as drift velocity, and average drift velocity is not zero. See, earlier thermal velocity was having order of 10 raised to power 5 meter per second. Drift velocity, see, there is net drift, but its value is very small. It is of the order of 10 raised to power minus 4 meter per second. Thermal velocity was having very large value, but drift velocity is having small value. So we can see earlier there was no net drift. When we had thermal conditions only, electric field inside conductor was 0, there was random motion of the n electrons, average thermal velocity was 0, there was not net motion in a particular direction. Now we can see when I am applying electric field to a conductor which is not isolated, there is thermal motion that is always there, but there is also net drift. So overall we can see that there is net velocity, although small, opposite to the direction of electric field. This velocity is called as drift velocity. It is of the order of 10 raised to power minus 4 meter per second. Okay, and this drift velocity will be something like constant. We will see how it is happening. See, suppose this is positive ion, this is one more positive ion, this is free electron. Earlier what was happening? This electron was having motion, suppose something like this, later on something like this, later on something like this, later on something like this. It was going randomly. There was not any drift in its motion, or there was not any directional motion. Net average was coming out to be 0. If now this is direction of electric field, see what is happening here. This electron is having thermal motion, it is going something like this, something like this, something like this, something like this, and finally something like this. So initially it was here, now it is going here. If I see, this is initial position, this is final position, so there is net displacement. Earlier there was not any net displacement in electron, but now there is net displacement. In absence of field inside the conductor, there was motion something like this. This electron was going initially like this, finally like this, next to like this, next to like this. Net displacement 0, average velocity 0. Now what is happening when there is electric field? Although there is thermal motion, this is thermal motion, but finally it is not stopping here because of external electric field. Electric field is in this direction, then it will get drifted in this direction. So this is initial position, this is final position. Since electric field is towards left, electron gets drifted towards right. So there is net velocity. Earlier net velocity was coming out to be 0. There is net velocity, although displacement is very, very small. See, here we can explain one very important thing. Average speed was coming of the order of 10 raised to power 5 meter per second, because average speed depends upon distance. You can see electron has started from this. If I calculate this, then this, then this, then this, then this, that will give me that distance. This is very large. For average velocity, I need to calculate displacement. This is initial position, this is final position. Displacement is very, very small. That is why drift velocity is very, very small. Distance is very large. That is why average speed is very large. Okay, now, so we were explaining something like this. Let us be more clear, and I will be revising the things. If I have electric field, net electric field, I am saying net electric field. If I apply electric field, it doesn't mean I can have current. We have to see whether conductor is isolated or not. Now, my conductor is not isolated. I have connecting wires, so accumulation of charge is not possible. If I apply electric field in this direction, okay, then I know that this electron will experience a force opposite to direction of electric field, and it will be having thermal motion also. Now, due to thermal motion, this electron may go something like this, later on 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 something like this. So electron was initially here, now it is drifted here. This is what we call a displacement. I will suggest my cameraman to have zoom over it. Now this is the net displacement. Since there is net displacement opposite to the direction of field, therefore there is net drift. Initially electron was here, now it is here. Since there is net drift, this velocity we call as drift velocity. Now these positive represent my ions. You can see electron is colliding with the ions. Electron is not so free that when I apply electric field it can move like in a very straight path. It cannot move in a straight path. Again, path is curved because there are obstructions in its path. These electrons will collide with each other as well as with the positive ions of the conductor. This is like, see, suppose you are in your school, you are supposed to start your morning assembly, and it is March 1st, schools have opened after a long time. Then you will be having like chats with your friends in the ground. That will be like you are having thermal energy. So situation of electron can be compared to you people. You are in ground talking to each other because you have met after a long time, but electron has not met after a long time other companions. Electron is randomly oriented because of thermal energy. Now suppose your PT sir blow a whistle, then you have to get aligned. Who is blowing whistle here? Battery. Now there is battery, due to battery there is a net electric field inside the conductor, so electrons have to get aligned. So उसी तरह अगर मैं आपको बोलूँगा कि अचानक align हो जाओ, the things will not be so much simple. You will be having collisions with your friends also, okay? और अगर वहाँ पे आपके स्कूल के प्लेग्राउंड में कुछ trees भी रहेंगे, then you may collide with trees also, okay? Because this is sudden command. उसी तरह यहाँ पे कमांड कौन दे रहा है? बैटरी. अभी तक जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स थे, they were randomly oriented, like you people were randomly oriented talking to your friends. Now यहाँ पे बैटरी ने अचानक कमांड दी, वहाँ पे आपके पीटी सर ने अचानक कमांड दी. When you get that command in a sudden way, तो अलाइन होना उतना आसान नहीं है. You may collide with your other friends also, and मैंने बोला in fact if there are some teachers in between you people, then you may collide with your teachers also. Similarly, जब इलेक्ट्रॉन को कमांड मिली, still thermal energy is there, लेकिन इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड की कोशिश है कि now I should have net drift, that is I should have net drift velocity. उसी तरह आपकी कोशिश रहेगी that you should get aligned. ओके, आपके केस में और इलेक्ट्रॉन के केस में एक ही डिफरेंस है. वंस यू गेट अलाइंड देन यू वोंट लाइक योर थर्मल एजिटेशन, यू वोंट टॉक टू योर फ्रेंड्स. लेकिन इलेक्ट्रॉन का ऐसा मसला है, इवन आफ्टर कमांड देयर इज थर्मल एनर्जी बिकॉज देयर इज टेम्परेचर. ओके, नाउ देयर इज नेट ड्रिफ्ट टू दिस. सी, व्हेन इलेक्ट्रॉन strike this positive ion, then the next point of collision is here. This is first collision site and this is second collision site. And I will make one more thing clear here. In physics, collision doesn't mean that two bodies should physically collide with each other. Collision means that there should be impact on momentum. There is Coulombic interaction. Electron has negative charge, it has positive charge, and this has positive charge. So they are not physically, electron is not touching this positive ion. There is interaction. Okay. okay, because there is non-contact force, there is interaction, there is change in momentum. Now see, electron was like trying to get drifted, but its drift motion, जो इसका सपना था drift होने का, वो यहीं पे खत्म हो रहा है, because it is colliding with positive ion and coming to rest. मैंने पहले ही बोला, there will not be any acceleration. From this point to this point, I can think of acceleration, but again, जब इसको hit किया, once it hits positive ion, it is coming to rest. Here again, it is starting its motion from zero, from thermal speed, and again here it comes to rest. From this point to this point, again I will like my cameraman to zoom it out. From this point to this point, there is acceleration, but again that acceleration vanishes at this point because of the collision. So there are two forces actually. If I take total force on electron, that is force due to electric field plus force due to collisions. Later on I will be discussing these things well in detail. So I will make things very much clear. When I am seeing total force on electron, that is not only force due to electric field. There is one more force that is due to collisions because they are colliding with the positive ions. Now, if I see two successive collisions, first electron is hitting this positive ion, or sorry, they are colliding this positive ion. Next collision is happening at this side. So these are the two successive collisions. The time between two successive collisions is called as relaxation time. Why it is called a relaxation time? Because we can feel from this point to this point, from this collision side to this collision side, in between the two successive collision sides, electron is somewhat relaxed. Okay, electron is somewhat relaxed, there is no obstruction due to collisions. Now the distance covered between two successive collisions, this is called as free path. Relaxation time we represent by tau, and free path, the distance between two successive collisions, we represent by lambda. Okay. Now, here to derive expression for drift velocity. So, इससे पहले what we discussed, if we have free electron here, later on we have positive ion, another positive ion, another positive ion, another positive ion. Suppose I am applying electric field in this direction. So what we discuss here, I am taking a case of single electrons. I am not taking case of all the electrons. So what we could see, there is some thermal motion of the electron. It goes here with the speed of the order of 10 raised to power 5 to 6 meter per second. Later on, it goes here due to thermal motion with the speed 10 raised to power 5 to 10 raised to power 6 meter per second. Then it goes something here, 10 raised to power 5 to 10 raised to power 6 meter per second. Then this electron collides with this ion due to thermal motion. Again it comes here with a speed of 10 raised to power 5 to 10 raised to power 6 meter per second. Later on, suppose this electron due to electric field, now electric field is in this direction, so electron will be drifted in this direction, electron will move in this direction. Suppose from here it goes something here. So initially electron was here, now finally it is here. So there is net displacement, and displacement has taken place from this position to this position, and the speed with which it has gone is drift speed, that is of the order of 10 raised to power minus 4 meter per second. So it should be clear. When it is undergoing thermal motion, then the speed is 10 raised to power 5 to 10 raised to power 6 meter per second. If I see average thermal velocity, again that is 0. This is not average thermal velocity. I am seeing thermal velocity at a particular time. Now, if I see average thermal velocity of the electron overall in this motion, that is 0. But if I see from this point to this point, that is not 0. Similarly, from this point to this point, that is not 0. From this point to this point, that is not 0. That is having very large value of the order of like million meter per second. But if I see overall electron was initially here, now it has finally gone here, therefore that is displacement. This drift has taken place opposite to the electric field. This is not isolated conductor, because if it was isolated conductor, we have discussed earlier, then net electric field is 0. Now electron has drifted from this point to this point. This drift has taken place due to drift speed, that is of the order of 10 raised to power minus 4 meter per second. Now if I derive expression for drift velocity, the drift velocity expression cannot be derived by taking single electron into account. This is actually average velocity with which the electrons are drifted. So expression for drift velocity will come something like this. Drift velocity is minus EE tau average by m star m. Okay, let me write as m. Later on we will be having obviously discussion on m. And this is one way of expression of drift velocity, whatever I will be doing. But you should look for another way that I will be discussing in this video. Okay. Now, in order to derive expression for drift velocity, I need to take all the electrons into account. Later on, I will see what is the average velocity with which they are having net motion. So, before proceeding further, what we could understand that if I don't have isolated conductor, then due to electric field, electrons are being accelerated. So, their velocity is increasing due to electric field, but simultaneously there are collisions with the kernels or with the metal ions, due to which there is retardation. So due to electric field there was acceleration, like velocity was increasing, but due to collision there is retardation, velocity is decreasing. So overall we could see velocity is neither increasing nor decreasing. Electron is moving with finite constant terminal velocity in a direction opposite to direction of electric field, that is drift velocity. But when we derive expression, I told like I cannot take only single electron into account. I have to take ensemble of electrons into account. Later on we'll be taking average. So now expression for drift velocity. Suppose this is electron number 1 here, E1. This is electron number 2 here. This is electron number 3 here. This is electron number n here. Okay. Now I can see due to thermal motion, suppose these are the positive ions, these are two positive ions, different ones, these are two different positive ions, and here I have two different positive ions. What we could see that electron is being drifted here. Now when this electron number 1 is drifted here, or there is thermal motion, it comes momentarily for in a like a rest state. Again it starts its motion from this point. It starts motion with thermal speed. It starts motion with thermal velocity. Suppose that thermal velocity for electron 1 is u1. Now already discussed that electron will be striking this collision site. Later on next collision site will be this ion. So these are the two successive collisions. First collision happens here, later on second collision happens here. The time between the two successive collisions is called a relaxation time, and the distance between two successive collisions is called as free path. Already we have discussed that. Now suppose electron starts with a velocity u1 here. Now we know that there is thermal motion, but electron is being accelerated. See, in between two successive collisions there is no collision. From this point to this point there is no collision. Electron is relaxed. Okay, so when I am discussing the motion from this point to this point, I need not take force due to collision into account. I have to take into account only force due to electric field. And I know there will be acceleration experienced by electron, and acceleration is equal to force per unit mass, where m is mass of electron. But force experienced by electron, we know that minus E by m. This comes from this expression. Force is equal to QE for electron, charge is equal to minus E. Now when electron starts its motion with thermal speed u1, later on it will be accelerated with the acceleration A equal to minus E by m. So it will end up here with a velocity which will be different from u1. Suppose that velocity is v1, and time between two successive collisions is relaxation time. Relaxation time is different for different electrons. Suppose for electron 1, that relaxation time is tau 1. Similarly, the distance between these 2 points is free path. Free path is different for different electrons. Suppose for this electron, free path is lambda 1. Similarly, if I go for second electron, before going for second electron, I want to focus on one very important concept. See, acceleration experienced by electron is minus E by m. Minus E in fact is the charge of electron, that is same for all the electrons. E is the external electric field, that is same for every electron. M is the mass of electron, and in classical theory I can take mass of all the electrons same. Okay. Though, therefore, the conclusion is that acceleration experienced by all the electrons will be same, and that will be minus E by m. Every electron is starting with different velocity, ending up with different velocity, and it is being accelerated for different time. Every electron is starting with different velocity, ending up with different velocity, and the time between the two successive collisions is different for different electrons. But every electron is experiencing same acceleration. Similarly, for electron number 2, now I can see that suppose it starts its motion with velocity u2, ends up with velocity v2, and time between two successive collisions for electron 2 is suppose tau 2, and the distance between two successive collisions is lambda 2. Similarly, if I come to nth electron, suppose it starts with the speed of un, ends up with the velocity vn, time between two successive collisions suppose tau n, and this distance mean free path is lambda n. Now, if I apply Newton's law or Newton's equations of motion, which is again exactly not valid, but in classical theory we can assume that is true. Equation of motion for this electron is starting with velocity u1, ending up with velocity v1. So I can have, if I use these equations for all n electrons, I have for first electron v1 is equal to u1 plus a tau 1. Similarly, for second electron, I have v2 is equal to u2 plus a tau 2. Similarly, for third electron, I have v3 is equal to u3 plus a tau 3. Similarly, for nth electron, I have Vn is equal to Un plus a tau n. I hope that these things are zoomed out. So this is the equation of motion for first electron. This is the equation of motion for second electron. This is the equation of motion for third electron. This is the equation of motion for nth electron. This is the net velocity gained by electron due to electric field. This is the net velocity gained by electron, or this is the final velocity. Gain will be actually final velocity minus initial velocity. Now, if I add these equations, I have V1 plus V2 plus so on. Vn will be given by U1 plus U2 plus Un, and plus later on acceleration is common for all the electrons. Let me take acceleration common. I have tau 1 plus tau 2 plus tau n. Okay, now V1 is the final velocity with which electron 1 is moving. V2 is the final velocity with which electron second is moving. Vn is the final velocity with which nth electron is moving. Similarly, U1 is the thermal velocity with which electron first is starting. U2 is the thermal velocity with which electron second has started its motion. Un is the thermal velocity with which nth electron has started its motion. Tau 1 is the relaxation time of first electron. Tau 2 is the relaxation time for second electron. Tau n is the relaxation time for nth electron. Now if I divide by n, that is number of electrons on both the sides, I have something like this. Now V1 plus V2 plus Vn divided by n. I told well in the beginning that drift velocity cannot be like calculated from the concept of single electron. I have to take into account n electrons. So if I see, this is actually the average velocity of n electrons. This is what we call as drift velocity. This is what we call as drift velocity. This is the net velocity, net constant velocity, net average constant velocity with which electrons are just drifted in a direction opposite to direction of electric field. Now U1 plus U2, U1, U2 and U1 are the thermal velocities of n electrons. Divided by n, that is average thermal velocity. And we know, well in my first lecture I have discussed that average thermal velocity of n electrons is 0. Plus a tau 1 plus tau 2 plus tau n divided by n, that will be what we call as average relaxation time of n electrons. So it is clear that drift velocity is equal to a into tau average, but we know that acceleration, previously I have discussed it, can be given by minus e by m tau average. So this is the expression for drift velocity in a conductor having n number of electrons, where tau average is the average relaxation time, because relaxation time of n electrons is different. That is why I need to take average relaxation time. Similarly, I can calculate mean free path also. See, the distance between two successive collisions for first electron was lambda 1. Distance between two successive collisions for second electron, lambda 2. Similarly, for nth electron, it is lambda n. Now, if I define mean free path, that will be lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda n by n. So this is the expression for mean free path. This is the expression for drift velocity. From this expression, it is clear that net we can see that overall the electrons are moving with a constant velocity opposite to the direction of electric field. This negative sign indicates that it is opposite to the direction of electric field. So in magnitude, we can remember that drift velocity or drift speed is equal to E tau by m. Okay, now let us go to another method, which is something special from IIT Academy. I will be deriving expression for drift velocity in the way IIT Academy needs. This will be totally different but awesome. See, I said you that the net force, I will be solving it for single electron. And later on, I told you as a physicist, we are assuming whatever is happening with single electron, that same thing is happening for n electrons. Now, net force on electron is force due to electric field. In my class notes also, I have written this thing, not the earlier one. And plus force due to collisions. Collision, when electron suffers collision with ion. Now, net force according to Newton's law can be given by m dv by dt. Now, I will be writing m star. That is why I told I like this method. Things will be more clear. Now, force experienced by single electron in electric field will be minus E. And force due to collisions, we don't have any form. But I can write it as m star, but I will put minus sign because collisions oppose the drift. Okay, they oppose the drift, therefore that is why there is negative sign there as they oppose the motion. M star and force due to collisions. Now acceleration in between collisions is something velocity by time, and I know between two successive collisions electrons are actually accelerated. They are starting something from thermal velocity, then they are accelerated and they are drifted. So every force can be written as mass into acceleration. If we try, we can write most of the forces as mass into acceleration. If I apply Newtonian mechanics, I don't know exact form of force due to collisions, but I know this can be written as ma, and I will put minus sign. Why? This is acceleration due to collisions. Minus sign because it opposes the drift. Now this acceleration can be written as force due to collision is important between two successive collisions. Now if I see between two successive collisions, there is net drift. That is why I said that the electron is relaxed in between the collision. From this point to this point, electron is somewhat relaxed. Let me zoom it out. This is positive ion, this is positive ion. From this point to this point, electron is in its relaxation process. Now in its relaxation process, if I see acceleration, that will be velocity by time, and velocity by time we know that can be written as velocity by tau here. Tau, because time between two successive collisions is relaxation time. And this can be written as V by tau. Now I said in electric current or current electricity, net acceleration of the electron is going to be zero. That is what we call as steady state. In steady state, I can assume that this V is constant with respect to time. That is what we call as steady state. Now, since velocity is constant with respect to time, there is no net acceleration. There is acceleration due to electric field, but that is counterbalanced by retardation due to frictional force. So net acceleration is zero. Now in steady state, this dV by dt will become equal to zero. So in steady state, I have 0 is equal to minus EE minus m star V by tau for single electron. Now I want expression for V. Okay, now one more thing, very important thing is here, I discussed steady state. Steady state means electron is not being accelerated at all. So whatever will be the velocity of the electron, that is going to remain constant. Let me put vector notation, that will be more clear. Now if I put vector notation, whatever will be the velocity of the electron, that is going to be like terminal velocity. Now if I rewrite it as v by tau is equal to minus ee, or v is equal to minus ee tau by m star. So I can see this is the expression for terminal velocity, constant velocity obtained by the electron in presence of electric field in a steady state where net acceleration of the electron is zero. There is acceleration due to electric field, but there is simultaneously retardation due to collisions. So net acceleration is zero. Whatever is the velocity of the particle or velocity of electron, that is constant. Now this constant terminal velocity is minus e tau by m star. This constant terminal velocity we call as drift velocity. That is why I will write drift velocity as minus e tau by m star. Now, okay, this is true for single electron. For n number of electrons, I will take average, and this average is called ensemble average. You no need to like look for ensemble and all. This is simply average. If I take average, so average. What I did for single electron, but I have to take for n number of electrons. So net average terminal velocity gained by the electrons is what we call as drift velocity. It is clear that it is opposite to the direction of the electric field. Now question is, sir, what is m star? M star is called as effective mass of electron, and it is totally different from free electron mass, because when electron is inside a medium under the action of electric field, mass of electron is not something 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. For your calculations, you may take effective mass of electron equal to mass of free electron, m star equal to m naught. But reality is that here I cannot substitute m star as 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. This is effective mass of electron. This is not like free electron mass. Okay. In fact, I will say you some important things here. Effective mass of electron is not constant. I repeat, effective mass of electron is not constant. It is anisotropic. It depends upon the direction of the applied force. And believe me, m star can be less than mass of free electron. Effective mass can be greater than mass of electron. In fact, effective mass of electron can be negative. Because, okay, let me not go in detail in the depth. But remember that this is something effective mass. Effective mass of electron is totally different from the mass of the free electron. And this is again here average. Whatever I did, this expression is for single electron. Similarly, I have to derive for n number of electrons. So I can write that Vd, drift velocity, average drift velocity is equal to E charge is true for every electron. Similarly, E is true for every electron, constant. M star I am considering same for every electron, but relaxation time is different. That is why I will put tau. Now this is average drift velocity minus E by m star, and this is T average. Okay, this is the expression for drift velocity. I will repeat. See, the reality is this. These things I have taken from Ashcroft, Mermin, Leumer, and Supply. And I think that this is the reality. When we apply electric field to the electron, there are actually two forces. मैंने पहले बोला कि when your PT sir gives command, it is not like you are getting aligned at once. आपके बीच में collisions भी होते हैं. So two forces will decide whether there will be alignment or not. Force due to electric field tries to align. Force due to collision tries to misalign. So net force will be force due to electric field and force due to collisions. Now net force from, I am using Newtonian mechanics, the biggest mistake, but as a beginner it is good, okay. I cannot use Newtonian mechanics for electron, but as a beginner we have to start from this thing. Now if I use Newtonian mechanics, this is mass into acceleration, force due to electric field is minus E, force due to collision is minus m star V by tau. How I obtained this expression? I was not knowing exact expression for collision, force due to collision, but force due to collision, mass into acceleration due to collision. Acceleration due to collision is something particularly starting, the overall electrons are starting from zero average thermal velocity and they are getting some drift velocity. Okay, now if I see how I obtained this expression, and now they are having some average drift velocity, drift velocity. So they are starting from average thermal velocity 0, ending up with average thermal velocity, sorry, drift velocity V. That is why V is equal to U plus AT, U is 0, A is V by tau. Now if I use this expression, later on I have to solve steady state. If I use accelerated state, then I am going to electromagnetism. Now if I use steady state, although there is acceleration from the electric field, but that is counterbalanced by retardation from the collision. In steady state, net acceleration will be 0. So left term will be 0, I have on the right side. Later on some modifications, I have V is equal to minus E tau by m star. Now this is the terminal velocity, terminal constant velocity obtained by the electron opposite direction of electric field, although very small in magnitude. This is what we call as drift velocity. But I did it for single electron. I told that what I am assuming whatever is happening to the single electron, same thing is happening with n number of electrons. For n number of electrons, I need to take average on both the sides. When I take average on the both sides, for charge, electric field and mass, I need not take average because they are constant for all the electrons. If I take here average, V1 plus V2 plus V3 and so on, suppose this is drift velocity for first electron and corresponding relaxation time is tau 1. For n number of electrons, I will say Vd1 plus Vd2 plus so on, Vdn is equal to minus E by m star will be common. This will be tau 1 plus tau 2 plus tau 3, tau n and so on. Now if I divide by n on both sides, I have got average drift velocity is equal to minus E by m star tau average. Same expression what we obtained earlier. Okay, thank you.